Welcome back to another Pokemon What If Wednesday, where every Wednesday morning I post a video going through last week's investing and collecting questions, where your guys' question will actually be in the video itself, and one person's question will be on the thumbnail every single week. So please drop your questions down below for a chance to be featured in next week's video. And if I did comment to you saying great question, I might use this and I didn't, please drop that question again and I'll get to it next week. I can only do so many questions per video. And I'm not saying I'm some guru who just knows everything, but when I'm unsure, I always like to talk it out. It always helps me make my final decision. And we do got to give thanks to our video sponsor today, and that is Platinum Protectors. This is another new sponsor that I reached out to because I absolutely love their products. And so many people were asking me what they should use to protect their booster boxes and their ETBs. But they got stuff for everybody on here. I mean, they got the nice booster box cases. They got the nice cheaper ones, which are absolutely great for shipping, ETBs, Japanese booster boxes. They got action figures, die-cast, Funko Pops, movie box, video games, and I did get us a promo code. So the link will be in the description, but we got 15% off with the code PokeBeard. So definitely check them out. I promise you will not be disappointed. All right, let's get to the video. So the first question, and the question that's on the thumbnail, is Big Boss Gaming 1858, wondering your thoughts on Japanese AR compared to English. Much cheaper, and if you're going for the artwork, it's no different. For example, Sleeping Raichu is a $5 card in Japanese. Well, if you watched my last Sunday video, where I show what I'm investing into for that month, I actually put quite a few Japanese ARs on there. You really can't beat that deal. So we're going to take a little peek here. So these are sold listings on eBay of the Japanese Magikarps. We got $26 free shipping, $28, $26, $29, $29, $30, $25. Now if we check the English, now these are ended recently, $120, $157, $130, $130, $120, $130. And we'll also check out the Raichu you mentioned. Last sold $5, $8, $9, $390, $390, $520, $390. And we'll check the English, 35, 35, 41, 39, 35. At those prices, when we're just talking a few dollars, and we all can agree that the art is beautiful, you really can't go wrong. I don't know if it'll be a gold mine in the future, but at a few dollars, you're really not missing out, and you're getting an awesome art, which we know the quality is a little better for Japanese too. So yeah, I don't mind it at all. I'm definitely going to be stocking up on some of these super cheap ones that are pretty expensive for English. All right, next question is from Burn That 22. I recently sent out my Lily full art from Ultra Prism and it came back at 10. Should I sell or keep long term? If you could help me with that, thank you. Love your videos. I appreciate that. Checking the Lily. So last sold, someone got one pretty cheap here. $750 for a PSA 10, one bid. It's a new buyer though, so you can always be a little sketched out by that. Someone could be doing this to try to possibly lower the price because they want the card. It is very, very possible. But before that, it was $1,000, $870. So I don't know a ton about, full arts and stuff like that. But I have noticed when cards reach around $1,000, a lot of times, that's their cap. But I could be 100% wrong. This card could be $2,000. Next year we could get another English waifu boom. But if I've noticed anything, it's definitely the English waifu boom has completely cooled off. Even the Japanese waifu boom isn't nearly as crazy anymore. Well, all Japanese is down. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like if you can get $1,000 for the card, that's not terrible. I mean, that would be okay. But again, if you are attached to it at all, there is a good chance it could go up. So, it's always 50-50. That's why those questions are so tough. All right, next is from Bonsabi. Hey Beard, I've got an opportunity to buy an Ancient Origins booster box for $950 cash right now. Do you think this could shoot up to $2K in the next couple years, especially after hearing about Mega's possible coming back? Just tied between, should I grab that box or use that money and buy something like 10 Paradox Rift booster boxes with more than likely will hit 200 in 2 to 3 years when Scarlet and Violet comes to an end? Yeah, that's so tough. Because technically you'd probably make more money on the Paradox Rift booster boxes if they all hit $300. I mean, you're making more money than if this box got to $2,000. So yeah, it's tough to say. I do absolutely love Ancient Origins, and $950 is not a terrible deal. This last sold is $1,000. But if you guys are wondering $1,000 what's in the set, they got the best mega cards in my opinion. Not to mention beautiful full arts. And for real, these are illustration rares. I don't care what anybody says. Like this Gyarados here, that is an illustration rare. And we got a few more down here. Where is it? This Entei is beautiful. The Metagross, these are illustration rares. or whatever you want to call them, alt arts. But this set is pretty good. There's a lot of good cards in this set, even for, like I said, the ultra rares and more basic cards. But the full arts are beautiful. Great selection. You know, you could not go wrong having Rayquaza, Groudon, and Kyogre all in one set. That may never happen again. So I don't know. It's tough to say. I do like to buy at the bottom, but the collector in me would say get Ancient Origins. But it's probably much, much safer to get Paradox Rift, I must say. Next question is from @MJ Chickenhawk. Hey dude, repeat question from last week. What do you think Paldean Iono dipped so hard so quickly? Well, if you check it out, there's a ton of Iona cards. And this card is heavily used for the TCG. But yeah, I mean, it was 81 bucks down to 68, coming back a little bit right around 70 bucks, but all last sales are, you know, in the 60s. But if you check, you know, we got 4 Iona cards that, you know, legit do the exact same thing. So that can definitely be a reason why, but I am a little out of the loop for the TCG. I have not played since about 2021. I've played my entire life, but, you know, when COVID hit, all the stores shut down and then we moved. So I'm kind of far away from the stores, you know, that where I can actually play. I do really, really want to get back into it because I've played my entire life. All right, next question is from @LostinJersey7646. Hey Beard, long-time watcher, first time commenting. If you had some fairly rare higher money slabs and wanted to sell them, where would you sell? I don't trust that my personal eBay will attract the attention the cards deserve, especially in summer when things seem to have slowed a bit. Thanks for all the awesome videos. And that's why I got to sponsor Arizona TCG, because I've honestly been selling for a very, very long time, and it is annoying dealing with all the buyers, just constantly complaining. So I just wanted to find a very, very good company that knows what they're doing. So you can just send them all your graded cards. They'll put it on their auction house. This eBay store has 100% positive feedback with over 10,000 cards sold. You know, they sponsor multiple YouTube channels. These guys take this very, very seriously. So that's what I would do. It's going to be the easiest for sure, and you will get a lot of eyes on your cards. All right, next is from Adults Love Pokemon 6615. Hey Beard, love your channel, man. Repeat question. I just got back my PSA 10 Latios and Latias GX and considering trading it for 3 to 4 Evolving Skies booster boxes. Looking to get the most investment bang for my buck. Thinking that both the boxes and the card will go up in the future, but which option would you go with? If you can get 4 Evolving Skies booster boxes for that, I would do that in a heartbeat. Cards, they're going to go up and down constantly. You're going to have much, much better luck with sealed booster boxes. And I could see Evolving Skies easily being a $2,000 booster box, just like Team Up is a $2,500 booster box. We did have one weird sale here for the PSA 10 Latias and Latios, which I thought it was just wrong, but it's just $1,000 grade 10 alt art, but it's even on eBay. But like I said, sometimes people will do this to try to lower the price. I don't know. That's very strange. Or maybe someone got extremely lucky and nobody's seen this auction. I don't know. But we're talking $2,100, $2,200, and then an Evolving Skies booster box last sold. We got 610 with $30 in shipping. So let's say 650, 675. So, you know, 612, 18, 24. Like I said, if you can get 4, do that in a heartbeat. But I don't know if you'll be able to get 4. So even at 3, like I said, I think you would technically make a little more money, but I could be wrong. But usually sealed is much safer than cards. Cards go up and down so much. All right, next is from @Rob99994. Hi, Beard, love the content. Do you think there's a market for investing in graded packs? I was considering EV Heroes with all the evolutions on the pack. You know, I've been meaning to really do some research on these graded packs. Thank you for reminding me, because nobody talks about them ever. But at this price, $64.99 for a PSA 10 pack, I'm about to buy one after this video, because that's pretty cheap. EV Heroes is a pretty expensive box still. I mean, it's still $300 something. And I honestly like how graded packs look. I love how big the PSA case is. They're great for display. So I'm a big fan. So I even went and checked the Evolving Skies. And this is the last sold for Evolving Skies with the Umbreon pack, because I wanted to make sure I found that one. And it was $100 for a PSA 10 Evolving Skies Umbreon pack. But yeah, I actually want to send in a bunch of packs and see how easy it is. Because, like I said, I don't see anybody ever really talking about this. But yeah, I mean, turning a $15 pack into a $100 pack is not bad, but just want to know how easy it is. I'm going to do more research, try to find some videos on it if anybody's done it. But all right, next is from Lil Daryl 5067. Yo, Beard, thanks for the dope content, man. Question for Wednesday. How do you feel about Pokemon Center exclusive cards that just dropped? It's the Pikachu and Eevee Pokemon Together cards. All right, let's check that out. I think anytime you can get stamped cards from the Pokemon Center website, basically for free for just buying already sealed products, is kind of a no-brainer. I mean, the Pikachu and the Eevee, and I love that it's like gold on the card, Pokemon Together. I think it's very solid. It says shop bundles here. So I'm pretty sure you can only get it with the bundles, but I have heard people say you just get it by spending $20 or more or something like that, but not 100% sure. When I looked at it, I went with the Galarian Bird Tins. You guys already know I chose that. But yeah, not bad. My wife wanted the card, so like I said, anytime you get it for free, $25 a tin, that's about what it is on the secondary market. I can find the tins sometimes for like $20, but yeah, not too bad. Next is from @Tragicart. Been dabbling in collecting sealed Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet and been binging your channel. Keep up the great work. I had to do a double take when you mentioned Punch Out. That place rules. I'm in Twin Cities. Question, do you know of any Pokemon card shows or collecticons that come through Minnesota? So I always go to the Minnesota Monthly Card Show, which the last one was on July 13th. The next one has not been announced yet, but they have the bigger Minnesota Card Show, which is at the St. Paul River Center. And I'm for sure going to that too. This one, you probably have to pay to get in, and there'll be like some celebrities and stuff there. Like last time I went, Dennis Rodman was there and stuff like that. So that's always a great time. A lot of good stuff there. But yeah, the monthly one is at the Heritage Center in Brooklyn Center. That's free to get in. A little smaller, of course. But yeah, good mix of sports cards and Pokemon cards. Always a good time. So let me know if you're going. We can meet up, hunt for some Pokemon cards. All right, next is from Norm Wolves. Repeat question. Hey, Pokebeard, I have both English and Japanese classic collection. Is it worth opening them and getting the cards graded or keep them sealed? Love your videos. They have helped me so much. Thanks. Well, it might be worth taking a chance because if you look, I mean, this is the Japanese one. But I mean, the Venusaur right here is $65, $25 in shipping. Let's say $75. Blastoise, $87. Charizard, $175. And then, I mean, even all the other cards have decent value. I mean, Scyther, $33. Chansey, $44. Magmar, $30. There's some good value in here. So, I mean, if you get a ton of 10s, you could potentially make some money for sure. Because then, too, even for English, I mean, like the Magmar and all that, the cheapest it really ever is for a PSA 10 is like $20 to $30. So you're, you know, for sure getting $30 almost every PSA 10. So it might be worth it, you know, especially with Japanese, you got much, much better chance of getting the 10s. But I have heard of people doing that with this box. So, all right, next question is from RC4 Mobile Arcade. Do you think it's a good time to invest in Scarlet and Violet base set booster boxes since it's sold out in the Pokemon Center? Or will there maybe be a reprint so I could wait for the reprint? There will probably be a reprint. I mean, they almost do it every single time. But yeah, Scarlet and Violet base set is sold out. It will go up in price a little bit, but as soon as we get that reprint, it will come right back down. So yeah, don't worry about it. Especially we got a ton of awesome sets coming up soon. Maybe just start putting some money aside for when those sets come out because they're going to be bangers. Next question is from @FindingEevie. Asked this question on a previous video. I sent in a Moonbreon to BGS and it received a 9.5, which is their gem mint. I don't see anything that would prevent the card from receiving a 10. Would it be worth it to crack it and send it to PSA for best long-term value? Take a little peek here. So the BGS sells for around $900, and the PSA sells for around $1250. If you're not trying to sell it right now, I wouldn't even worry about it. Just keep it in the BGS. But if you're interested in selling it, that is a decent play. But you're going to be absolutely devastated if that comes back in a 9. I think a PSA 9 is around $800. So you're really not losing a ton of money, but I've heard so many people doing it and it working out. So it's definitely worth the chance. Like I said, if you are interested in selling it. But if you're not, just no rush. You can do that at any time. All right, next question is from @LOLP1656. Hey, love the videos. Question, what do you think about all the new information coming out about the Pokemon card scan technology? And how will this affect the future of sealed products? And another one is from @KetchupNips9667. What do you think of buyers and sellers using metal detectors or scanners on packs? So I've been putting a lot of thought into this because almost every single PokeTuber's made a video about it, which I'm not going to do. I don't want to give it any more publicity or anything like that. But I am not a fan at all. I think it's terrible for the hobby. I don't think it ruins the hobby or kills the hobby at all, especially for modern. I really feel like most people just, buy raw cards or go to Walmart and buy a pack or two or a box, or go to their local game store and buy a box or two, which it really will not affect you at all. But even if the prices come down a ton, like I ran a ton of scenarios in my head, it's almost really not going to be worth it for modern ever. I mean, maybe booster boxes. I don't think ETBs will ever be worth it. Booster packs will never really be worth it. But booster boxes maybe, especially for some sets that have a good amount of value in them. But even then, it's got to be extremely, extremely cheap. Because the first time you send in 3-4 boxes and you don't get nothing and you just, paid what a booster box costs, I mean, it's not really going to be worth it, especially if you try to sell it on the secondary market, seller fees and all that. It just doesn't really make sense for modern, but for vintage, it definitely changes things. People are going to be way more cautious, worried about getting scanned, which does suck because then there's going to be a ton of sellers out there that just aren't going to get any sales because people don't trust them because they're newer and stuff like that. But it will bring more sales for the trusted sellers and the local game stores, which I guess is good. But yeah, everybody's going to be way more cautious now, and a ton of people are going to try scamming people with this for sure. Like, it's just inevitable. So yeah, it is not good for vintage at all. So if you are buying vintage in the future, I would just be extremely cautious, buy from your trusted sellers, because the prices already are not that expensive for some vintage products. So I would definitely be cautious in the future. But like I said, I don't think it will really affect modern very much, especially if you're just buying from your local game store and stuff like that. But yeah, not a good thing at all. All right, next question is from user TU1YC3GM4B. Hey, Pokebeard, love the content. I graded my Twilight Greninja EX with PSA and received a 10. Would you hold or sell? And I got another question. It's from @hello, it's Pete. Hey, Pokebeard, I just pulled a Greninja SIR from Twilight Masquerade and curious to know your thoughts about this card. Do you think this will be similar to Moonbreon or align more with how Giratina or Magikarp is looking? Lastly, would you consider holding long-term or sell now while it's hyped? Now, it's always smarter to sell while it's hyped. And then, especially in the PSA 10, if it were personally me, I'd sell it. I've only lost one time doing that, selling when something is hyped, and that is the Moonbreon. I sold it raw for like $550 on release. That's the only time I've ever really lost on selling something when it was hyped, just because it got more hyped, which I don't know if the Greninja will be, especially with all these new awesome sets coming out soon. Yeah, I think now might be the time. But again, I could be wrong. Don't get mad at me if it goes up to $2,000 a card or something, which I don't think it really will. But next is from @ThomasGomers2466. From an investing point of view, is it better to invest in sealed booster box cases or multiple singular booster boxes? Also, what are the down and upsides for both of them? Cases is always the best. Usually the only downside is sometimes they're a little more expensive. But if you can ever get a case cheaper than you can get a booster box, like per box, I'd get it every time. The good thing about a case is you have the best of both worlds. You can always crack that case and just sell a box or two. Like if you need money or if you want to invest in something else, you have options. Plus, they are so nice in that case. Like, it's probably one of the best protected things you can do for booster boxes. I mean, they just fit in there so nicely. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to buy cases for each box. So I would definitely try to get cases if you can. But again, if you're overpaying a ton, then it might not be worth it. Then it might be easier to just buy the individual booster boxes. So it just depends on the, the actual cost of the case, per box or whatever. So great question. Next is from DBaron157. Hey, love the vids. Quick question. Do you think it's worth it to trade raw cards that start dropping in the market for cards/items that look like they have potential to grow? Example, I'm trading my Gengar VMAX Alt Art from Fusion for the EV collection boxes. All three. That's a great idea, especially trading cards for sealed. Sealed usually does better. I feel like those boxes are going to be very, very expensive. I think that is a very, very solid deal. All right, next is from Kyle Salona, 1578. If you are into collecting PSA 10s, is it better to buy multiple well-centered cards with no whitening and hope you get at least 110, or just outright buy the 10 modern cards under 50? For modern cards under 50, I just buy the PSA 10. But I'm very picky on my PSA 10. So definitely check it out. And the reason why is you never know. PSA, I mean, is already starting to get smoked by the CGC Pristine 10. I mean, Beckett's Beckett. So if PSA isn't the top dog anymore, it's good to know that your card is a true 10 in there. Because you know how PSA can be a little, lenient on these 10s because they just grade so many more cards than all the other companies. So yeah, just be super, super picky on buying your 10s. So that way, if CGC Pristine is worth 5 times as much and your card is beautiful in there, you could crack it and cross grade and stuff like that. So just be picky on the 10s. Next is from AJber 2136. Repeat question. Do you see PSA 10 Modern, Sword and Shield, and Scarlet and Violet chase cards as a good investment? And how do you think they'll change in price over the next 5 years? What about 10 years? Also love waking up to your vids. Keep them coming. I really appreciate that. So it's tough to say. I do think they will hold great value. I think Scarlet and Violet is pretty undervalued right now. So if it were me, I'd probably invest a little more into that. I always like to buy at the bottom. But I do think they will do great. I could see the top Sword and Shield alternate cards being, around all $500 to $1,000 raw, maybe even more in the future. You never really know, especially with what we got coming too with these Scarlet and Violet sets. I'm getting pretty excited, Team Rocket, possible Gym Hero / tag team, stuff like that. So yeah, I think there's definitely a market for it in the future. But again, cards are definitely a little sketchier than sealed products. If you buy sealed products at the absolute bottom, they'll just slowly rise. Cards go up and down constantly. Just depends on what's popular and what people are collecting. So next is from @Justice45. Hey, Pokebeard, great video. Interested to know what grades do you typically go for when collecting for your personal collection? And what do you factor when deciding to pick up slabs versus going for raw instead? So for modern, I only get 10s. And then for vintage, I don't really have a vintage graded collection because I have so many completed sets that if I do buy graded cards, I usually just crack the slab and put it in my binder. And if I'm doing that, I usually try to get at least a PSA 7. I have bought a couple nice PSA 6s, but yeah, for vintage, I at least try to get a 7 or an 8 if I am cracking slabs. But yeah, modern, 10 only. Do not touch 9s, do not touch 8s. I mean, if we're talking super, super high value cards, you can maybe get away with a 9 because it's basically just a raw card at that point, but next is from @CurtisLeddy1408. Repeat question. What percentage of your portfolio is in Pokemon? I have about 1/3 of my investment money in Pokemon and feel pretty comfortable with that, but just curious about other people's portfolios. So it's tough for me because I'm a huge collector. I have 16 different collections. I kind of go through them in my last What If Wednesday. I definitely invest the most in Pokemon out of all my collections for sure. But I never try to go super, super crazy. So what I like to do is, whatever I'm spending on Pokemon that month, I better be saving that money too, stuff like that. But yeah, I invest a good amount for sure. But like I said, I have so many other collections that are all ongoing. I mean, I have some that are complete that I'm not spending money on anymore. I'd say probably about 7 or 8 of them. But a ton of them, it's a never ending battle. So yeah, I invest a ton into collectibles. All right, next question is from Peter Glassman 9264. What cards should you grade, or does it even matter to grade cards if you're not selling them? Nope. If you're not going to sell them, no point in grading them. You can grade them at any time. If you know the card is mint, or if you do want to grade a collection, then sure, you can start grading your cards. But yeah, if you don't plan on selling them and you're totally fine with them being raw, that's totally fine. I think a lot of these videos and YouTubers, they make you feel like you got to grade your cards. Nope, I regret grading some of my cards because they weren't 10s, and now I have missing spots in my binders, and now they're 9s. I mean, they're for vintage, so, a vintage first edition PSA 9 isn't bad, but now I got a hole in my binder, which drives me nuts. All right, last question is from a member. It's from @TeamCross. I'm starting my journey on my content creation. I'm going to make it more geared towards my journey of going on hunts at store for product restocks, mail days for my investments, personal collection, and a few videos of me talking about what sets I love and why I picked them over other sets. What's the biggest piece of advice you would give to someone who wants to be more involved in the community and start to make a name with what they do? As always, I love your honesty and your perspective. Super good question. So one thing I have noticed is a ton of people who start out making content, they like to start out with videos, telling people their opinion on like why they should get this set or that set or whatever it is. But you got to remember, you're new. People don't care about your opinion yet. I know it's tough to say, but you got to earn that. So I definitely like the idea of you going out on your hunts, looking for stuff, being like the regular Joe average collector, I would definitely play into that. And then once you build a good little following, then it'll be so much easier and you'll get way more views, you know, when you tell people, you know, invest in this set or, you know, like ranking of the sets or anything like that. Cause I've noticed so many people when they start out, they'll do like a tier list, you know, or something of all the cards or sets, and they don't get a lot of views because people don't know you yet. So they don't value your opinion yet. You got to earn that. But yeah, let me know if you need any help, like equipment wise or anything like that. You can always hit me up on Instagram. I mean, you're a member, so anything you want, I can definitely help you with. And then to get more involved in the community, I mean, you just got to really start watching people's videos. Other smaller YouTubers too, they're the ones who will really help you out. You guys can help each other grow. So I would just constantly be looking at new channels, watching videos, commenting. It definitely helps out a ton. And I wish I would have did this right away, but I didn't have Instagram or anything like that. But definitely start an Instagram also. I mean, you could probably start a TikTok too. I'd start all three at the same time. Put your content in all three. It's going to be much, much easier to get people, you know, to view your stuff. But all right, that was today's Pokemon What If Wednesday. If you guys do have any questions, like I said before, drop them down below for a chance to be featured in next week's video. And if you guys could help me out and hop over to Instagram, since, like I said, I started it way too late. You know, I just started it probably 4 or 5 months ago or something like that. Please give me a follow there. I would really, really appreciate that. I post up there every single day. And then 2, you can join my membership if you would like to support more. And you can also check out my eBay store. But all right, I want you guys to have a great morning. And if you guys want to watch my last Pokemon Market Monday, click this video here. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.